Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video, this time on Lee Sin top lane. Now, I was in the mood to play Lee Sin top lane, and if I must be honest, is because I actually got beat by this build a few games before I actually played this one. This game was actually like 4 or 5 days ago, so my memory on this game is a bit hazy, but all I remember is I did actually pretty well. The build did fairly good, and the build that we're talking about today is going to be the Ravenous Hydra Rush on Lee Sin with maxing E, then W, then Q. Now, obviously, Lee Sin is one of the most versatile champions in the game, and a lot of the time it can work if you max Q, it can work if you max E, and then whatever you max second, it can work the same. It really can work anything you do on Lee Sin. Now, I would never really recommend maxing W on Lee Sin unless you are getting absolutely owned in lane and you really need the sustain as well as the shield to make you survive. But I'm against an Aatrox this game, which honestly was a bit annoying in the fact that this build relies on having so much sustain that you just simply push your enemy out the lane while having the Ravenous Hydra to push the wave really quickly. So then you just get a lot of push it down to their second tower really quickly, and then you go help your team. But being against an Aatrox who has inbuilt sustain with lifesteal, and he may be running lifesteal quints as well, it was a bit annoying to actually do this build with an Aatrox. But I still went through with it, and it still did fairly well. I played Lee Sin top lane and Lee Sin mid lane, totally different, as well as jungle. All three of them, I think, should be treated differently. You could say be treated like different champions in the way that a top lane Lee Sin, you need to go damagey early on, but then definitely build tanky. A mid Lee Sin, you actually build damage pretty much throughout the whole game, as you are generally the assassin of the team. And then a tanky jungle Lee Sin is generally what I would opt for. Now, some Lee Sins do go for damage in the jungle, but I personally wouldn't really go for damage. I generally go tank Lee Sin when I am playing in the jungle. So early on in this lane, I have to be fairly careful, but I've kind of countered the early Aatrox passive by getting myself an Elixir of Fortitude. Now, the reason behind getting an Elixir is having the extra health that a Aatrox would get from his passive. Now, if you look in the jungle on the minimap, Mumu has actually got invaded. I do back off because of the Aatrox pressure, but Mumu goes down to first blood. Mumu is very weak early on, and I don't really rate an Mumu very highly, and I know low elo people do, but yeah, I don't really rate Mumu as a very good jungler. He can be easily countered and bullied in a counter jungler situation, and that's what the Shyvana has done perfectly, in the sense that, she knows that Mumu is weak early, and she's basically taken full advantage of this and invaded him. And obviously Shyvana being the best, well, one of the best counter jungling junglers in the game, she's making full use of that. Now, Aatrox is pushing this wave quite a lot, so I do have to be fairly careful here, and I'm just going to try and CS as much as possible without taking much to harass, I suppose. Now, here's the thing. He goes aggressive me. I pop my Fortitude. His blood well goes down. I back off somewhat, and Q and E. So I get the kill on Aatrox, but then a Shyvana moves in, and I level up again. I have my second W, but I use it before I max it. Now, that was a small mistake on my part. If I leveled it, then used it, then I probably would have even... Well, I don't think I would have survived, but I think I might have picked up the kill on Shyvana. And that could have made a small difference in this lane. But still, having a kill up on the Aatrox is a fairly good thing. He got an assist out of that, where I did get a kill. Now, obviously, I pick up a Doran's Blade just for a bit more, pressure early game. Now, Doran's Blades are very good items that will help you secure early kills, give yourself a little bit more sustain and a little bit more tankiness, but they do delay your overall build, so you don't want to build too many of them. Now, the Aatrox has built 2 of them. I've only built 1. Now, I've still got my Fortitude Elixir on, so I've still got that, a bit of health, bit of damage, so I'm actually still at a very good state. I've got more attack damage by the Aatrox, so right now I would say I'm stronger than the Aatrox in the fact that I've got my Fortitude Elixir. Even though he's got one more Doran's Blade, I still think I'm fairly stronger than him. So I just have to kind of use this advantage. Maybe I want to play a bit more passively. Now, if you look on the minimap, Shyvana is actually just staying in this lane. They really want to kill me. Now, they obviously don't know that I've got that warded, otherwise she wouldn't stick around. So I'm getting camped a little bit here, which is a bit annoying because they are trying to shut down the Lee Sin. Now I go in and out basically to try and taunt the Shyvana in the way that if you know where the jungler is, you want to keep them in vision as much as possible. So as you can see, every single time she backs out, I move in for CS to make her stay a little bit longer. But overall, she does decide to just back out. So I think I just go over and ward the river, and then I ping the Kayle because I don't think she has amazing reactions because the Shyvana was shown on the minimap and she didn't really react straight away. So yeah, we've just got to be a bit more careful. Now, right now, our bot lane has done very, very well so far in this game in the fact that I think Ezreal picked up 2 kills early and there's another one for Nami, so pretty good. Now, as you can see, my damage compared to Aatrox is a lot higher. I do have 2 points in W, which it wasn't a mistake. It was the fact that when I was getting ganked by Shyvana, I wanted to have the extra shield. Obviously, I did use it before I leveled it, which was a mistake in my part. But yeah, it's basically just there for that dive attempt. Or they actually did a successful dive. Now, Kayle honestly should not really be dying 1v1 to an Ahri. It's a fairly easy matchup for both champions as well. If the Ahri is a very good Ahri and will land charms a lot of the time, then the Kayle will get beaten. But honestly, at this kind of level, which is mid-diamond, I'm actually in promotion series to Diamond 3 right now, people at this level really shouldn't get charmed as much as, normal. So it's just play. Maybe they're not used to playing Kayle or that matchup. But yeah, you've got to be very careful as a Kayle when you're against an Ahri. You just got to be, if you avoid charms, you'll probably win that lane. So yeah, it's just avoiding abilities. Now I am pressuring the Aatrox somewhat. I get my level 6 and then kill him straight away. I already had my Q focused on him. And as soon as I hit 6, went on him and finished him off. He didn't have his passive up, and you can see if an Aatrox has his passive up by simply having, if the bar below his health is white or red. If it's white, then if it's red, then he does. Now, there was a bit of action in bot lane in that there was a tower dive. Now, Ezreal did not get anything out of it, but Nami got a pure kill for herself, and that allows her to build the very early Sightstone. As you can see, it's just gone 7 minutes. If you see in the chat log, she has just built her Sightstone, so that is a very good time, and overall, a Sightstone actually gives you probably more gold than you actually think. Now, if you think logically, and the fact that a Sightstone gives you 3 or 4 wards, depending the upgrade value, or even 5, I think, of the Sightstone, you'll be buying wards throughout the whole game as a support, as well as having that slot to actually buy them you need. And if a ward is 75 gold at a time and the item is around 1,000 gold when you finish it, maybe a little bit more, it only takes around about 10 odd wards to actually, or maybe a little bit more than that, to actually make up for the price of the item. And you'll be buying more than 10 wards the whole game, and then you'll start basically earning money out of it by not being, you don't have to buy the wards. The only wards you kind of have to buy when you have a Sightstone is vision wards or having the oracles or something like that. So Aatrox, I think, is a little bit mad at the fact that I kill him, so I've got to be fairly careful. He may start playing aggressive on me, because honestly, he hasn't been playing purely aggressive. In the early levels he did, when he was going for that tower dive, he went very aggressive, but since then he's kind of settled down. We're just CSing somewhat. Although our CS isn't very high, there's been a fair amount of action in this game so far, even in top lane. Now Amumu is I think, going to do his red again, and honestly, we should have predicted it, both me and Kayle, that the fact that Amumu got killed so easily by the Shyvana before, I think she may go there again. So yeah, we've got to be fairly careful. Now, Aatrox is going on a pretty big attack on me right now, playing aggressive more than he has been. And I basically survive. I kick him away from myself, and I survive with my W, only having single digits. I only had about 8 health. And I heal up with my passive, or my lifesteal, etc., with them health pots ticking, and then I come back for the kill. So honestly, pretty good play by the Amumu, being there at the right time, but I'm managing to finish him off myself, which is always good. Now, from mid lane, we should have actually seen that the Shyvana actually moved towards the Amumu's red. Now, I don't think I'd be in a very good position to help him right now, but Kayle should go and help him. Kayle in the first blood didn't react at all, and he might have been able to save him. And again, Shyvana does actually kill the Amumu again, so I could maybe reacted more there, but also Kayle, and I'd say a mid laner should be a little bit more reactive. A mid laner is the person that holds the team together, and they should be actively looking at situations around the map, much like a jungler should be. So yeah, it's a bit of a bad situation for Amumu. He is getting counter jungled and killed by the Shyvana quite a lot, 2 times more than he should. Now, the Kayle is being a bit cynical that Amumu is getting beaten 1v1, but honestly, that is a really dumb comment because it's a Shyvana versus an Amumu. In no situation in early levels, a Amumu would come out on top of that. So that's a very silly comment by the Kale, and it's just pretty much a very defensive comment. And that's the thing with the League of Legends community. Once they are questioned or something, they just go pure aggression on like trying to defend themselves when they shouldn't. Sometimes you should just accept what you do wrong. And yeah, the bot lane is continuing to do well, so very well on their part. I'm starting to get a lot stronger. Picked up my pickaxe right now, so I do have to be fairly careful that I am fairly squishy. Now, Aatrox has no passive. As you can see, the bar is white, so I can actually fight him right now. Now, I've got to be fairly careful in the fact... Now, this was a really weird engage. All flashes, flips, jumps, etc. going on. He basically tried to flash on top of me, but then I had my shield up and just W to a different minion, used my E to attack speed slow him, and then I was able just to finish him off easily. So right now, being 4-1-0, going for every single kill I've gone for, I've managed to get. So it's pretty good, and I'm probably going to start looking for roaming potential. And see what we can do. So being nearly completing my Ravenous Hydra, I think I'm only 1,000 gold off actually completing the full item. I'm at a pretty good situation to be right now. So I want to look for potential like Dragon that will give the team gold to basically help the Amumu, who I think really needs it. Anyway, we're going in for an engage. We're looking if we can do something right now. They are pushing down the Ahri into the bot lane now. Here's a pretty good engage, point for me. I use my ward to try and get there quicker, and again, I don't really land much, which isn't great, but I do make flashes occur in different situations, so my presence being there actually did a lot more than people may realize. I forced people to go in different ways, forced them to do flashes, so yeah, we do pretty good. I'm going to start this dragon by myself. They continue to go for the Ahri kill, which they do manage to pick up without, I don't think anybody dies. No, Amumu does go down, but I still think we can do this dragon. As you can see, Aatrox in the top lane is going to push that lane quite a lot, so he is probably going to go ahead and CS me because, he's going to have 2 or 3 waves uncontested, so he's going to probably pick up every single one in that wave. But that was overall pretty good by the team. I don't pick up anything but dragon myself, but honestly I think it's worth it for my team. I like helping my team more so than myself, in the fact that if my team is doing well, especially in solo queue, everybody feeds off positive energy, and if your whole team is doing well, then that's going to be great. Now I do say in the chat that Aatrox is simply going to play the solo player split push, and it's a playstyle that is fairly annoying to deal with, honestly, and it's a very boring playstyle to do if you're doing it. It's an effective way. Now, I'm never going to say it's not effective, and it's basically a top laner will stay top and don't give a damn anything about their team. They will stay top lane and simply just split push and be the nuisance that will drag someone away. Now, right now, I'm fairly fed, but if he manages to drag me away from a team fight, I'm going to be more useful than him in a team fight. But if we fight 1v1 and he manages to get away, that's a better situation for his team. So he is missing at the moment, so I do have to warn my team that I don't know where he is. He could maybe go for roam opportunity, but I do doubt it at this stage because all he's done so far is push top lane. Well, I have actually, actively tried to do stuff around the map. Now he has returned and he is building his Blade of the Ruined King, so I've got to be fairly careful. He actually goes quite deep in the fact that he allows me to get a free Q off, which you never really should do because it is quite a lot of damage, at least with this Q, especially if he combos it with E. Now I do a little bit of damage, Q in, E, and then W out, just to get as much free damage as I can, but as you can see with his lifesteal from his W, as well as his Cutlass, he is going to be regenning quite a lot, and that's why I say doing this sustain build on Lee Sin with his push potential is quite annoying versus an Aatrox, and it's a shame that I actually had Aatrox in this matchup. If I even had, say, a Renekton, I think I would have done, even better than I have done this game. Now, I am doing fairly well. Bot lane just managed to get double killed, which is unfortunate, honestly. But I don't think they are managing to do anything else from this, in the fact that their tower's already gone, Dragon isn't up yet. So they pick up them double kills, and that's all that really they can do. It's not a great situation, but it's just good that they won't snowball it getting other towers or getting a dragon, something like that. Now, I am 2 levels ahead of the Aatrox right now, but he does have his passive up, and you never really can tower dive an Aatrox when he has his passive up. So now I'm going to pressure him as much as I can. That's, physically possible while playing still safe. I don't really want to tower dive him. I don't really want to die at this situation. Now I do have a lot of sustain. Now I nearly have enough gold to finish my Ravenous Hydra, which will allow me to have a very big power spike. In the fact that when I get my Ravenous Hydra, I'll be able to push the wave even quicker than I am now, and then go roam, straight away. Kayle does manage to pick up the Ahri, even though that there was a Shyvana in the situation, so that's pretty good. It does show a good sign for the Kayle. Now, every single time that I manage to get some minions, Aatrox moves into range, so that's why I get the E off in him. He's taking a little bit more free damage than he should. His E is moving in, his twin blade thing was moving in, and that's simply why I used my W, just to get rid of that damage, as it's pretty much even in that effect right now. Now, the enemy team has done fairly well in the last couple minutes. They have picked up several towers. I think they picked up bot and mid tower, which are pretty good towers to get. But they've also created map pressure. They've got a few kills here and there, and they haven't completely turned the game, but they have done a fairly good job of securing a couple things for their team. Now I do have nearly 1,500 gold. Now red buff is up, and we know Shyvana likes to counter jungle the Amumu, so I do put a ward there, and then we find, who is it? The Shyvana doing the red buff. So I'm going to engage on her, and I think, do I pick it up? I'm not entirely sure. Now I do ult her. No, I don't pick it up myself, but I do ult her in the way of Kayle so she can get some damage, and then Amumu picks it up. So I'm guessing right now he feels quite good that he finally killed that Shyvana that keeps taking his red. And that's the thing, if you're a jungler and you counter jungle the same buff every single time, you get predictable. People are going to know you're going to do it, and situations like that can easily happen. So I would advise junglers from doing predictable things, unless you are super fed. And the Shyvana right now isn't super fed. She can still die. I probably could take her by myself right now, but yeah, she shouldn't have done that again, over again and again. And I know counter jungle is the key part to League of Legends right now, but mix it up every now and then. Go for the red buff twice in a row. It worked for the Shyvana really well, but then you have to think the third time, is this going to work? No, I'll go for the blue buff this time. But anyway, I've picked up my Ravenous Hydra, which increases my push potential quite a lot, as well as gives me a power spike fairly early. So I've got to be just pushing this wave like mad, pushing it to try and get the tower down, and then going to try and group with my team. Because right now I'm fairly strong. I am in a good situation to be at nearly 18 minutes. It's just gone 17, and yeah, it's going pretty well for me right now. So the lane has pushed. Aatrox, with his big sustain, he has picked up a BF sword, which I don't really know why. As an Aatrox, I would tend to rush a Blade of the Ruined King, but he doesn't really do it. He's delaying his Blade of the Ruined King quite a lot. Now, Shyvana does find me, which is a bit annoying. Kayle is going to move around and try and help, I believe, but as well as Aatrox is moving down. Now, the Shyvana is fairly strong. I will give her that. Now, I just get away fairly easily by queuing to the minions, and Kayle does... I think she might survive. I kick them away. W again. There's flashes going off. There's Ahri ult going off. And then I queue to the Shyvana, and we're going to try and get a kill or even try and get something out of this. While this is happening, bot lane is just winning an engage. So me and Kayle do really well in that. That was a very good situation for me and Kayle to actually come out alive in the fact that we got 3 of them away from, going to bot lane, took pressure off the bot lane so they could do their own thing, and we survived. So it did fairly well. Now, bot lane, we can see near the dragon, there is a bit of pressure going on right now. Aatrox is around the area because he wanted to come down and try to secure the kill on me or Kayle. But yeah, they just have to be fairly careful. Mid lane is fairly pushed, so yeah, we're doing pretty well right now. That was well played by me and Kayle that we managed to survive, as I said. Now I am returning to top lane to try and just push this tower down to get the top lane just basically pretty annoying for the Aatrox or anybody on the enemy team. If I get it to their tier 2, it forces somebody to go there and clear it. If they don't go to clear it, the minions will probably just take the tier 2 tower, over time. And now I have finished my W leveling, so that is my full shield now. With a lower cooldown, so I can get a little bit more mobility, and as well as having higher shield and higher stats. Aatrox just does go in by himself. I think Shyvana might even flashed into the fight then. So they are actually having a fairly poor fight right now. My team is losing this fight because it's 5v4. I'm up in pushing the top lane. They did the dragon, and straight away they should have backed off. They should have seen that they're outnumbered and backed off, but they did get engaged upon, which is a bit annoying. But I'm going to try and push as much as I can to try and get a bit more gold back for my team from that loss of fight. Now I can push towers fairly quickly as a Lee Sin. I've got quite a lot of attack damage right now, over 200. But right now, that team fight, as Kale said in chat, we got a dragon and we got 2 towers. So we overall got over, let's think about it, we got 150 each for a tower, so we got 300 each for the towers, and we all got 500 odd gold for everything all in. So that is more than a kill each. So in effect, we did better than what they did, the enemy. Sure, they got some kills, but overall as a team, we got more gold out of that situation than they did. Now I return to base and I pick up a giant spell. Now as I said, being a top lane Lee Sin, you don't want to invest in full damage. You do want slightly tanky stats. So that's why I do opt for going for a giant spell. I am a fairly fed situation right now, so I might be a focus to try and kill fairly easily. And that's basically why I pick up the giant spell, just to be a bit more tankier. Now we probably are going to look for a fight situation fairly soon. Ezreal is going to clear the bot wave. But he does clearly say in chat he's going to clear it, and then we're probably going to look for a fight situation. So we just have to be a bit careful now. But right now I can probably nearly one-shot somebody with my full combo. I am looking for a small engage if I can do anything. But honestly, there's not much going on right now. Now, there is a small engage going on. Aatrox or Janna does move in from the side. And we're going to see if we can do anything. I'm in the middle with my Ravenous Hydra. Now, I do kick the Janna to death. There's a exhaust that's come down, and we're going to continue to fight. I use my Q and get back onto the Shyvana. Ezreal gets charmed, which is fairly annoying, and Shyvana is still going deep, so we're going to finish her off. And then I do go down by the Trist, unfortunately, which is a bit annoying. But in that engage, we didn't have a Moo. Now, a Moo is key to us more so than the Aatrox, because a Moo will lock down the enemy team, where an Aatrox will basically, sure, he can get a few of them in the route, but overall, a Moo is more useful to us in a team fight than an Aatrox is to them. So that was a bit of a bad situation for us. And if we did have the Moo there, and even if they had an Aatrox, that would have been a better situation. And we probably would have come out that with less deaths and more kills. As I was saying earlier, Aatrox is basically playing the split push. She's staying top lane, be the annoying person, which it doesn't take much to do this, type of thing. Champions like Aatrox do this, Tryndamere do this, Nidalee do this, and it's fairly annoying to deal with. But it is effective, and if you want try to get a win on your plate, then it is probably the thing to do. Now there is an engage going in the mid lane. Ari goes extremely low, but I don't know why these two stayed around. They shouldn't have stayed around, by themselves when their whole team is missing. We don't see many of them on the map. So yeah, it was a fairly silly situation for the team to be in. Now I do manage to get the E off, and then I miss my Q. Now you see that a lot of the time I do cast normal cast with my Lee Sin Q. Sometimes I don't, but it's basically just being a bit more accurate in the fact that I can actually see where it's going to go perfectly. Now there is an engage going on right now, but I basically just jump over the Shyvana, and then I actually miss most of my spells, but yeah, we managed just to pick up the kill. Trist also is in the background, so I'm going to try and pick her up as well as I can, get a double kill, so worth it for us. We get two for one, that I get both of them, I get stronger than myself, and they only get me, so very much worth that fight. I thought my kick would have finished off Janna straight away. It's unfortunate I didn't. If it did, then I would have probably been able to turn on the Tristana straight away, and it would have been a different situation. But I'm still happy with the outcome. Right now, being 7-3-2 with 140 CS isn't a whole lot, but at this stage of the game, I'm not really worried about CS right now. As you can see, if you pause it, whatever, if you quickly looked, this isn't a very high CS game. I think the highest person in this game is about 170 CS. Now, excuse this grey screen, we always have to have our occasional when we're dealing with Twitch VODs, and that is one thing I really want to quickly announce. The next commentary you're about to see, or the next one in 2 days, is going to be Vladimir, and it's actually going to be, hopefully, I don't want to make any promises, but hopefully it's going to be from LOL Replay. I have found a fix for it, and it did work last night. I was just checking, but hopefully it does work the whole way through a recording. And yeah, we'll try and get back into occasionally doing a spectate game. And I would tend to do them type of games if the lane phase was boring, because it is a bit boring when lane phases aren't very exciting, and the Vlad ones aren't very exciting games. But when he gets the team fight, Vlad is a really fun champion to actually watch. So I'll try and get that working in the fact that you'll also have game sound, and that's I know a lot of people have been asking for game sound. But yeah, with the situation that I have to have these footage from the stream, obviously I can't have music playing, or even myself in the stream, talking over what I'm doing now. So that's the reason why these don't have game sound currently. So hopefully the next one will be Vladimir. And honestly, I think I'm actually going to start playing Vladimir quite a little bit more. I played him yesterday and I finished fairly well. You'll obviously see that in the commentary. But I didn't have Bloodlord before that. But then after the game, I actually purchased Bloodlord Vladimir because in my mind, I actually am going to play Vladimir quite a little bit more. Now Trist is actually quite overextended, so I'm going to see if I could do anything. But I score a goal, get the middle of the posts with my Q there, so don't manage to get anything. But as you can see, the group of our team, or the team, is starting to group. We are going to probably look for a team fight relatively soon. I do level up to level 15. Would like my level tier 3 ultimate because it would do a lot more damage, but it's I don't have to have it. Now, that's a lot of damage going out onto the Aatrox there. Now, I do move in for the Janna. She does flash away. Now, as you can see, I am returning to my team basically just to cover them as well as I can. I get the Q onto the Tristana. Now, I do get a kick. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to actually get her kicked into the group. Now, right now, it is 3v3 with actually the same positions alive. All three are the mid lane, the top lane, and the AD carry of each team. So both junglers and supports did actually die. So I am looking for if we could do something right now, but I do have my flash up, but Aatrox still has his passive. Now they are lower health than us, and obviously having my sustain and having a Kayle heal, etc., Ezreal being full health anyway, it does allow us to have more pressure than them. Now I think from memory, I might actually do a bit of a bleh move in a second, and there's the bleh move. There's not much I could actually describe about that. Flash to try and get the Q in, and totally missed the Q. Trist is off to the side. Now, I am actually missing quite a lot of my Qs right now by actually watching this back. But having, the ability to Q, you may as well use it as much as you can, just to try and get the most kill potential. If it hits, it hits. It's like a Nidalee spear. The more you throw out, the more chance it's actually going to hit. So yeah, maybe I should be a bit more accurate and take my time actually aiming them, but a lot of the time you just want to be fairly quick. Now, Mumu is actually pinging Baron while they've gone to Dragon. Now, we haven't cleared Baron, and they will have vision of it straight away, but it's basically to lure them off the Dragon as quick as possible, but they're going to continue to do the Dragon anyway, but we are going to see if we could do the Dragon. Now, all of us miss everything. That was so bad. It was unreal, but it does actually force a fight, so, oh well. Now, I don't hit the Q. Now, here's a dirt by myself. I kick the Shyvana into my team. So that was a bit of a derp, but I think we still win the fight overall. Do pick up my last Whisper. Now, I haven't really done anything with that Giant's Belt right now. I think eventually we'll build it into a Randuin's. Now, they are looking to jump onto the Aatrox and get that kill. There's Bloodwell going down. Now, right now he will heal quite a lot from it. He'll maybe 500, or there you go. He got 700 health back from it. So that's quite a lot to just get back from a passive there. So yeah, that was a bit of a dirt moment by me. I think I thought my kick would finish the Shyvana off, but being as tanky as she is, it didn't do as much damage as I expected, so I actually managed to just kick the Shyvana into my team. I don't think it killed anybody, so that's good, but I gave my team unnecessary damage. Now, as I said in these commentaries, I will always point out what I do good, and I will always point out what I do bad, and that was bad. I'm not even going to shy away from that fact. I should never kick a Shyvana with a big old W when she's in Dragon into my team. I do think they killed her from it, but yeah, I still don't think it was really worth it. So I've had ups and downs this game. I haven't played Lee Sin in a while, I think, from memory after this, which isn't really an excuse in my instance. I have a very, very, very big champion pool. Literally every single champion in the game I own, and I can play it, and I'm fairly confident to go in solo queue and just play it. Now, there is a game going in it's a small engage, going in right now, so we are looking to do something. I queue into the bush just to see if anybody's there. And yeah, we are stronger right now. We do have 4 kills ahead of them, but also you have to remember we have got dragons, we have got towers, so we are fairly strong now. I am a bit worried that there's going to be engaged there. I do actually manage to pick up the Wraith with my Q randomly, which is alright. I got 50 gold from that. But I am worried about having a big old Shyvana jumping over the wall with Dragon. So I want that warded. And I think I tell Gals on Vent to actually ward that, or maybe he does it soon, or maybe someone does. So Trist is looking for a bit of free damage, and as you can see, Trist does actually clear that very quick. But we do get a ward there over the wall, so she can't basically jump engage on us, which is what I wanted. All the time. I think Dragon may have spawned, or no, they did actually do it when we were going to Baron, so they did finish it off very quickly. And then I think we may again look for an engage. Now this game it's basically building blocks. This game so far, it's been we're waiting, bam, go. And it's been a sudden engage a lot of the time, or people are being caught and stuff like that. So again, Shyvana's going aggressive. And the fact, now I'm a fan of Shyvana jungle. Now this Shyvana played fairly well in the fact that her counter jungling was well, but then she became predictable. And right now, in her engages, she's trying to just simply run up to people and attack them, but she ends a lot of the time just taking free damage on herself, so that isn't very clever at all. Now I do manage to get my Q onto the Ahri, so if I was in range, I would have gone. Straight away I would have gone. Now Aatrox does actually engage as well. I managed to pick up the Aatrox kill. Now look what we're doing. We're clumped. We're in a group. We're very grouped. We just simply killed the enemy's tank straight away. And the enemy were, so much more split than us. And that's basically why we're winning these team fights. We're working as a team. We're staying in as a unit. You won't see me flying into the rest of the team. If my team is back dealing with something else, I'm going to go back and help them. Finish that problem and then move on. Janna is, looking to try and do something now. I do probably stand on a ward here, and that's probably why she actually backed off somewhat. I do manage to just jump onto the Mumu. I'm going to tank this myself because my lifesteal right now is quite a lot. Now, you're about to see, I think, something a bit funny. Now, I'm going to head top lane and pick up some CS, but there is a Janna randomly. Now, I have no idea why she was there. We've seen occasionally on Reddit that they are freak steals that Janna do. Now, Ezreal steals my CS, and the fact that it was a bit annoying that he stole my CS, but by him ulting it, they find Janna. So that was fairly funny. In the fact, at the time I didn't realise it, but Ezreal went for my CS, but the vision of his ultimate showed Janna basing, and it stopped her basing. It actually hit her, and yeah. So as you can see right now, I said I thought you were stealing my farm, and yeah, he did take the farm. But he spotted the Janna with it, so that's pretty damn funny. Anyway, picked up my Randuins right now, which is actually pretty good. In the middle of a team fight, propping that, Randuins. They do have a fairly strong Tristana right now, which is a bit meh, but we can deal with her. Now, Shyvana and Amumu are currently dueling in the bot lane, so I don't really know why Amumu did this, and he even flashed into them and tried to kill them, so it's a bit questionable why he did that, honestly. Yeah. Now, Aatrox is looking to try and fight me. Now, I have no idea why he's going to try and fight me right now. I'm so much stronger than him. Pop his blood well, and then continue to go for the kill. Now, he is going to try and get away, and I think he does actually manage to get away. Yeah, he does. But I don't know why he's trying to fight me right now. I am a lot stronger than him. And yeah, he's not. This Aatrox hasn't done very well this game, and yeah, I'll openly say that about my opponent. He did not do very well. I counted on a lot of mistakes he made. Going in for that early tower dive and managed to pick up that kill pretty well, and stuff like that. I've just counted upon. So I am coming in to see if we can do anything. Now I think there was a small engage down bot lane, and they did actually die, which is a bit unfortunate, but oh well. Now, 3 of us still have Baron. I think Ezreal and Amumu have died in this time, but we still have Baron. We still have map control. Well, we're actually saying that we don't have map control right now because every single lane is in our side of the map. We really need to push out lanes to secure this win, basically. Lane pressure and etc. in the late games is actually really annoying. If you have minions constantly pushed up in your base, that is really, really annoying. Now, as I said all game, we have the solo splitting Aatrox right now. That has basically done nothing this game. He even flashes on somebody, so that is really odd. So the Aatrox has not done a good job. Now, I would never recommend simply just playing the single player split push game because it very rarely works in solo queue, because if you get a solo queue team that simply plays as 5 like you should be, that solo splitting thing just doesn't work. You're going to try and force people to come to you, but if they simply just ignore you and just keep pushing like mad, then yeah. Now I do manage to just have a very easy engage on the Tristana there, and she gets Nami bubbled, and then I was able to just pressure and just burst her with the Kale, and we managed to pick up the kill really, really quickly. Now I am moving from the side. I do engage on the Janna. There's Janna ult, so that's always nice just to get that Janna ult out the way. So that's always good. Seeing if I can do anything else. Now I do actually engage, and I pick up the kill on Janna basically by myself. And Nami does get an assist because I think she had a W on me. But yeah, just going in, trying to pick people off by myself. This is what Lee Sin is very good doing. And being tanky actually allows me to do this more so than you actually think. Now, we don't have any idea where kind of the rest of their team is right now. But basically, the game is kind of won. We are pushing into their base. We have minions, minion pressure, and we're just going to go for the towers and finish off the game. Maybe we do it now, maybe we don't. I can't really remember if we managed to finish it off. I used my Randuins onto the Shyvana. I've managed to finish her off. There's Tristana, but maybe Ari went AFK in the last couple minutes of the game, which is a bit unfortunate. Having another assist on the Tristana and finishing 13-4-8. Pretty good score by myself, and this was Lee Sin top lane. Was pretty damn fun. Honestly, now as you can see, that Janna absolutely blew up. Aatrox is trying to move in for another kill, and yeah, we finished the game off, I think now, I would like to think, and there you go. There was Lee Sin top, guys. Next commentary to come in 2 days. Hope you guys liked it, and please subscribe and all that stuff. See you next time.